did this on my own without a paddle or a motor. I walked through those floodwaters myself and moved those people from their homes. Elderly, people that was on the hospice, people that did a lot of things, that needed a lot of help. Those people weren't coming. So as I was pulling them out of the water, I had the community to work with me to get those people to the hospital if they needed to go, or get them food or water. And the people that did not want to go, y'all, I monitored that water all night long by constantly walking into it, making sure we didn't get no higher. I was knocking on their door. I was giving them food. I was giving them water. So I tell people often, I didn't just start this yesterday. I've been doing this a long time. Okay. And I seen that we needed somebody that can make a difference, and I felt like that person was me.
That's good. Thank you for your services. I know how it is working and being a handyman out in the community and being out there and being first line. So that is a blessing when somebody volunteers their free time to be a first line. That's really a first line essential worker, basically, when you can get out in your community. Which leads me to the next question. Have you ever sat in city official seats? Have you worked in any positions downtown, city council meetings? Are you close in those areas?
Yes, I'm very close in those areas. I know a lot of my family members sit in those seats as of today. And I had no opportunity myself to run for those seats because I didn't want to. I felt like those seats was for the people that was in them. We all have a calling, and that wasn't my calling. I am an international human rights defender, though, and I tell anybody that's a seat, and that's a large seat because I don't just work in the United States. I work in every country. So that's the biggest seat you can fill, and as of right now, I am the only one that's in Louisiana.
Right. Siblings. Do you have siblings, brothers, sisters?
Yes, it's 9 of us. 10 of us, counting me. And yeah, I have a lot. 4 brothers and 5 sisters.
4 brothers, 5 sisters. Where do you fit at in the family tree? Are you the middle child, older?
The baby.
You are the baby.
I'm the baby.
You're the baby. Everybody excited about you running for?
Everybody, when I first started, they were saying, no, they're going to hurt you. They're going to hurt you. You don't care about what you say. You say it, you do it, no. But they kind of grew into it, and they kind of helping, but distant help, because they're like, we don't want people to know who we are, so we need to come protect you.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, do you have a focus area for leadership?
I have a lot of focus areas. My main focus is our future. That's our children. My second main focus is our women, because our women has brought us from where we come from, and our women is going to lead us until where we need to be. I think it is very important. People don't understand. Everybody don't want women as leadership, but they don't understand women is the strongest being on earth scientifically. Go look it up.
That's good. Thank y'all for the gifts and the love. So what type of team do you have right now, starting out building? Have you built a successful team to help you start right here, the foundation?
We are building that team as we speak. You got yourself and other people that has came aboard. We have some people that we still have not vetted them yet to get them through the process. But we actually hired somebody last night. One of my team members hired somebody last night. And she have not, sent back over everything yet to, be, certified or whatever. But however, they are working really, really hard. And they need to, we are trying to push to get more information out there as well.
Right. So with that being said, you stating that you have asked me to come and be a part of the team. Now, I'm a social media bunny, okay? And I've done some things and said some things out here that could later come back and bite and probably possibly put a damper on your election, being truthful. How do you deal with that type of stuff? Have you thought about that? Is that something that you're concerned with? Because that is something that could possibly come up down the road.
Good question.
One thing we have to learn as a group of people is that some people like yourself has what they call a outside realm of job, okay? And you are a creator. It is your job to get on here and create. And how you do that creation is totally up to you and solely up to you. When you step across the field to protect your community or do what you feel like you need to do for American people, I feel like that you are the right person to do your job. Although people won't see you as that because they're going to be pulling up, oh, this Miss Nietzsche talking like this and doing this and doing that. But here's what people fail to realize. I haven't seen a perfect person yet walk into that office. And everybody has a side job. And that just happened to be yours.
Thank you.
That's not what people do.
What's the most difficult part of your daily transitioning? Because you are a husband. Are you a father?
We were a father. I were a father. Yeah. I'm
sorry to hear that.
Oh my.
That's probably hard to transition and grief in this. How do you transition to your daily and to keep it separate?
It's really sad.
Well, my wife is with me, so I don't have to separate anything. She's wherever I go, she goes.
Technically, he's still a dad. You know what I mean? He just had. It sounds like he had a loss, but you're still a dad. You know.
In that sector, we're in that sector. When we out of that sector, we're out of that sector. But I tell people all the time, although the dollars don't roll, my job is always my job.
Hold on, let me finish chewing. So a couple of clips were sent to me because Ms. Nietzsche sat down with a person who's running for president of the United States in 2028, and they wanted me to review it because my background, albeit being nosy, is in politics. So they wanted me to review it. And there's only been a couple of pink flags. One, him discussing how he only picks and chooses specific people to allow him to be interviewed. And then he said, well, I can take the heat. You really can't if you're picking and choosing who interviews you. The second not red flag, it was kind of a pink flag. He wasn't very clear about his educational background. So there was not a whole lot of concrete information on it. He first stated that he was getting his bachelor's degree. Then he stated, well, I got my bachelor's degree. And then he stated that he was getting his PhD in law at Harvard. So so let me just make this clear. I don't have a law degree, but I have applied to law school. I just didn't go. I should have went, but I didn't go. But I scored really well on my LSTAT. I scored a 170, or no, like a 169, 170. And I took it twice. And so he stated that he's getting his PhD in law. Your jurisprudence, your JD, that is the PhD. So I never heard of it. Maybe I'm just ignorant to law, but I didn't know you could just keep going after. I thought your JD was your PhD, but maybe I could be ignorant to that. So he said he's getting his PhD at Harvard and that he's currently finishing up at Penn State. So I'm not entirely sure. I would prefer if he would just, instead of telling us about his degree, just put him on your website and let us vet your transcripts. That's typically what most president-elects do. They issue out their taxes and they issue out their degrees, so we know. You know what I mean? Hell, even Donald Trump did it. And he went to Fordham, and he dropped out of Fordham, and then he went to Penn, which is two different universities. Penn State is the state college. Penn is the privatized one, Pennsylvania one. That's the private, super fancy Ivy League one. So then Donald Trump went to the Waldorf School of Business, right? So we know that about Donald Trump because we've seen his transcripts. I would just prefer this guy. Just show us your transcripts and we can just move past that, because the ambiguity about his degrees are a little iffy for me. I find that a little iffy. You said I heard like 20 red flags. Okay, well, let's just finish, y'all. He sounds like he sounds like he is for the people. He sounds like he's you know what I mean? I just thought the whole I don't want to be interviewed and the whole ambiguity about his transcripts, those are my little tiny pink flags.
24 hours
What's up,
a day, 7
K
days
Black?
a week, my phone is open, and someone called and they ask for something or need something. I get out of my bed if I have to and make sure it's done. And my wife will let you know, she's been sharing me with the community for a long time.
Right. Hi, wife. So question. A lot of people like to know what makes someone different. What makes you different and more believable than any other
These are great questions
that we have seen elected and be put in the White House?
Well, again, I don't accept the funds from rich people. I have had a lot of people that have tried to, fund me, but I declined them. 2, I'm doing a grassroots campaign. 3, I'm not reading off a script. There's no script in front of me. You'll get me and only me. 4, I'm not a fake person in my record. I always say, let my record show my faith. And anybody can go look at what I have done. I'm on the news. I have shut down prisons. I have been doing a lot of things. And as of today, I'm getting ready to file an exportation lawsuit against our city councils, as well as sitting judges for disrespecting and breaking.
I think he meant ex parte. That's the term he meant. He did not say that.
Faith. And anybody can go look at what I have done. I'm on the news. I have shut down prisons. I have been doing a lot of things. And as of today, I'm getting ready to file an exportation lawsuit against our...
He said exportation. He meant ex parte.
City councils, as well as sitting judges for disrespecting and breaking the law when it comes...
You can't sue a judge. So just make it clear, this is because of Alexander Hamilton. We're going to go all the way back to our forefathers who founded this nation. When the Constitution was rewritten, right? It started off as the Articles of Confederation, then it became the U.S. Constitution that we all know and love today. Alexander Hamilton is the reason why you cannot sue a judge. You can't sue a judge. Judges have qualified immunity. So it's just based off of the writings of Alexander Hamilton as to why he believed that judges, because they're to be appointed by proper people, that they cannot do improper work, if that makes sense. Of course, we have corrupt judges. Judges go to jail all the time, but it's not because of their ruling decisions they've made at the bench. It's typically because they DUI arrest, diddling kids. It's usually outside of the courtroom. Does that make sense? Usually it's some sort of like corruption, like, oh, they were doing these kind of dealings on the side, sending, like that one white lady judge who was sending all those kids to the juvenile jail. And it turns out that her husband's friend had built the juvenile jail, and her husband were investors. So I don't know if you remember that case. It came out in like 2018, 2019, and she ended up going to jail for it because she did not disclose that she had partaken in that. But you can't just, I'm going to sue this judge. You have to have a reason as to why, right? And again, you thank Alexander Hamilton for that.
Black Americans in their court. I work and do this. I've been doing this a long time. So I just say, let my record reflect of what I will do. And hey, it's there.
Thank you, Mickey.
There's no way around it. It's there. I love who I am. I support what I do. I support what my wife pushes for me to do. She often...
Now, he did say that he has shut down prisons, and these are just my notes because I'm actually taking handwritten notes. These are my handwritten notes. He stated that he shut down prisons. He's helped single mothers and veterans in his neighborhood. He needs to put that on his website. He needs to put that on his website. He needs to let people see that, because I could say a lot of things. I could say, you guys, every Thursday I feed the homeless. That could be a goddamn lie. I could be literally sitting down here clipping my toenails on Thursday. So if he is going to be interviewed about these things that he has done for his community, he needs to put that on his website. That would probably be his first line for him to do that. But overall, he sounds like a nice guy. Does he have a chance of winning the election? No, third parties don't win elections. We don't live in that kind of country. We don't live in a third party countries. Can third parties disrupt elections? Yes, we have history of that. The first case of a third party candidate in our minds is Ross Perot. Ross Perot was the reason why George Bush Sr. lost his election to Bill Clinton. George Bush only served one term, and he lost his election because Ross Perot, who is an oil tycoon billionaire from Texas, had galvanized the third party Green Party vote so much that it ended up costing George Bush Sr. the election. A lot of people don't remember that, but that is true. A lot of people say that about, what is that white lady's name who only shows up during election seasons and she just annoys the fuck out of people? They say that she's the reason as to why Kamala Harris didn't win her election, is because she also intervened. Jill Stein. They say that about Jill Stein. They say she's just a party disruptor. She is a party disruptor. Her, and then again in 2016 with Jill Stein again. She did it again in 2016. People say she only shows up to disrupt elections. So yeah, you can use those two, Ross Perot and Jill Stein, as third party disruptors, right? They disrupt the system. But can a grassroots person win an election? Not without taking large dollar donations, unfortunately.
has said, you're a different person. You're not that one that just look for the money. You're not that one that look for the power. I don't want it.
Now, I did look him up on Ballotpedia. He is a registered Democrat, so I'm not entirely sure where he's going to go with his campaign, because if you are a registered Democrat attempting to run for presidency, you have to be endorsed by two of the big parties, the DNC and the DCCC. The DCCC is the ones who maintain all the funding and stuff, and they back the candidates as so be it. So he is a registered Democrat. I don't know if I had to look the guy up because I'm not entirely sure if he registered as a third party candidate, as an independent or a Green Party or his own grassroots party, or if he did it as a Democrat. But I'm curious to see that because, again, if you're using that Democratic umbrella, you have to get campaign financing from the DCCC, the DNC, right? So those are the two places. You can't it's basically like saying, I'm going to produce a car and I'm going to call it Tesla and I'm going to use all the Tesla emblems, but I'm not affiliated with Tesla. It's like, you can't do that. You use our party affiliation, you are therefore going to be recognized by our party and our party's finances. Does that make sense?
The power belongs to the people. That's what set me different from the ones that have been there and the ones that is running for there. They're running for their own agenda. I'm running for the American agenda.
Right. Thank you for that. Describe you in the field.
Say that one more time.
Describe you out there working, campaigning, out in the field. I call it the field.
This is his Ballotpedia. I think this is him. It says Democratic Party. That is a Democratic Party. Let me bring it closer, and it is up to date. It says Democratic Party. It says that he's running for president of the United States. It says the next election is November 7, 2028. And it says he is from Monroe, Louisiana. If that is him, he has registered, at least through Ballotpedia, as a Democrat. If he is not a Democrat, he should probably get that updated. And I don't know how that works once you have entered yourself on the ballot. Can you change your party affiliation before primary? I'm not entirely sure, but this is what it says. So I'm only going based off facts. I'm not going based off of things that I speculate. Again, I don't know this guy. These clips were sent to me. Okay?
Getting out there, getting work done, getting this done. How are you out there?
His jacket is half off.
Children, and I mean, like,
his jacket is missing on that side.
I work from babies all the way up to the elderly. The elderly is my favorite, of course. I love the elderly. And the babies are too. But yes, I work with the children often, as well as I work with the adults. Just last week, week before last actually, my wife and I had a truckload and a trailer load of school supplies, and everybody in our community and outside of our community, all the way into Texas, Mississippi, and Alabama, was able to get school supplies for their children to go back to school. Now, a lot of people say, well, why don't you film yourself? I don't need to film myself. There's people out there that'll let you know. Oh,
that doesn't work. It doesn't. The presidential election is very much optics. If we can't see you, it did not exist. That is just